Alright, this is a short film to discuss the bedroom alternatives as I've mapped them out in the basement. This is your existing floor plan. Ignore what happens up here because I'm not sure exactly how this is all put together, but these are just to give you a feel for your location in the basement. These are your air conditioning units. The dashed lines represent your soffit lines. I'm missing one here. This is the deck overhang. These little squares are your columns down at the deck level. So first of all, if we're going to locate a door which we are, it seems to make the most sense given the strong ranking of columns that we'll center it between this central pair of columns. Putting it here is out of the question because of these air conditioning units, and that's about it. So that's going to be the center of any kind of door or window opening that we make through this wall. So we stretch that up a little bit. Now we'll zoom in. This will be the view that we'll be working with through the permutations. Alright, so I stretch that center line of this window or door opening, show a quick little door in there, and then probably that would be a 6-foot door. Maybe it's a little less, we'll figure it out as we go forward, but I'm showing a 6-foot double swing door in there right now. The next thing I did was try to locate what I'll call the south wall, which I've put it here to maintain these two little bumps on either side of this opening here. Going down the road, this becomes less important and I abandoned that. But this is where I started, which gave me an interior width of about 15 feet to work with. And so then I wanted to map out a quick little bedroom, the smallest bedroom I could, and still maintain a pathway behind this column. Going forward, that becomes unimportant and is ultimately abandoned as well. But this first permutation A, begins with the idea that that would stay, that we would maintain that pathway, 36-inch pathway, behind this column. So shift over the wall, tighten it up a little bit further. Add a queen bed, and at this point I decided that the door to the bedroom, at least this door to the bedroom, would be here. This makes sense coming from the garage at night. You would just come through. Maybe this is the main path, in which case a door here makes more sense. But for now and through all of these plans, I assume that this door will stay at this location. So at this point I just wanted to finish up, began to label it. All the labels will be here. I'm calling this bedroom A. Added a closet on this side. There's no room for a closet on this side. It wouldn't make sense because of this door here. So I add a closet on this side, put a double 6-foot door in there, which gives you 6-foot access. A little dresser here. This is a chest of drawers style dresser. A few more moves. I wanted to go outside real quick and talk about the area outside this door. I'm showing a concrete slab in this region here, so a person could come out here. Additionally, I'm not sure about these air conditioning units. I don't think it makes sense to move them, but there's going to be a noise issue. There's also an unsightliness issue. So maybe a little privacy fence is put around them to kind of buffer them. I don't know if that buffers the noise or not. Certainly it buffers the site. This slab could be kept back though, and some sort of nice, I suppose there are some plants that might grow here if they were kept watered. But in any case, it's nice to have a place out here. This is covered, so this could be, a person could sit out here even in the rain. So I'm showing a little concrete slab with a fence, and maybe you need a little more clearance for those air conditioners to work efficiently, and so that comes forward. That would just have to be determined, but a person ought to at least think of what happens right outside this door with such a nice little access through here. This, I believe, is how bedroom A, well, there's probably one or two other things. I make the door smaller because it wasn't really needed. Didn't need to be a whole 6-foot wide, so I brought it down to 5-foot wide. Each of these openings is 5 foot anyway. So I brought it down to 5-foot wide and kind of run with that through most of these permutations. And I think there might have been one other thing I added on A and moved the dimensions out so that you could see. Added a full-size dresser through here, just so that you can get a feel for how much space is in this room, even when we maintain this pathway through here, which is not needed or desired, but that's where I started from. Finally, I just square that up a little bit, but it's immaterial because you won't do this. And significantly, though, this wall probably ought to be located here, so that this hall is 3'6" here and maintains that 3'6". There's no need for it to be any wider than that, really. I mean, it could be, but there's no real need for it. This is not a major path from anywhere. This is enough space through here, so it's 3'6" here and 3'6" here. And finally then, so that's the end result of A. This is kind of the smallest bedroom I can see in there. It leaves this margin on this side here. It maintains a path through here. And it maintains what I feel is the minimal width hall down through here. A. Next though, certainly it made sense to me, regardless of whether this is the main path to this bedroom or this is. Certainly the bathroom is right here, so to me it made sense to have a door at this end of the bedroom. Whether that one's eliminated or not is beside the point. I think this actually is the more critical door, having access to this bathroom here. I don't like how this column is here though, so I think the very next thing I do is just make this a little more sensible here and have that door. While I like the angle door getting to here, I don't like the column right in front of it, and so we may as well just capture that. And then that once we capture that, we can shift this wall a little bit just so that we have enough for this door to back up against. That widens that space out a little. I use 30 inch as my clearance in a bedroom, and so you can see that this is, you still have 30 inch with the queen bed in here. All of the permutations will show a queen bed, by the way. Next though, a place for a television. There's not a place for a television in like this. I suppose one could be sat here, but I thought, well, you could have a little stand at the bottom of the bed and have a television there if that was something, some critical consideration. So this is, you know, C, another bedroom variation. But then, to me, it just makes sense. I didn't see the need for this little bump here anymore. So I think that can be eliminated, and you may as well pick up the extra 8 inches by flushing these walls here. So this becomes the first serious look at a bedroom, D, with the bed facing the doors here and the little chest of drawers here, a full dresser here. This closet is pretty sizable. I increased its depth a little because I wanted to compare to another plan, E or F, down the road. So I increased its depth a little bit beyond. The standard is 2 foot, 2'1". I've increased that to 2'4" deep. And then a quick conversation about the doors. I'm showing a 6 foot door, 6 foot double door through here, which would give you 6 foot access in here to almost a 10-foot closet, which is a large closet for just this bedroom. Unless, you know, if you have double occupancy, then maybe it makes more sense. But the doors themselves, whether it's a 6 foot door or whether it's a sliding door just gives you 3 foot pathway in here at any one time, unless maybe you go to a, well, first of all, there's no place to sit in here, so I got rid of the little chest of drawers, given this big dresser here, and show a little seat with an ottoman in there, and have shifted this double door down this way. But there's no reason that door couldn't be a 3-panel, 9-foot door, and you would have access to the entire closet anytime you wanted. The next variation, well, if that little angle bothered a person, that can be eliminated without any encroachment on your pathway through. It's probably a little more gentle path. this way, but some people hate angles, so just squared it off there and squared off the closet as well. So thus far I've been showing the queen bed with its two little nightstands at this end of the room, and I wanted to see, mainly because I liked being able to lay on the bed and look out the window. I suppose that's lie on the bed and look out the window or door, but probably it ought to be at least reviewed what happens if you shift the location of the bed, which is what I've done in this next permutation, E. The closet is the same depth. It's a little bit less wide here, foot less wide, but the same depth. And again, we step through this same door permutation, whether those are a double 6-foot door or a triple sliding 9-foot door. That's just, immaterial. I mean, it's you'll have to decide upon it, but that's the considerations. Whether or not you need that wall space, or whether or not you like the full access to the closet. There's not a lot else can be done along that wall, so I'm just showing the closet all the way along it. Missing, though, critically from this plan are these pieces of furniture here. Now, the television can go here, and this is more than enough dresser for this room, so that's not a problem. But in terms of the seating, if you wanted to get the seating, this was one option, eliminating that door, but I see that door is very critical, so I just decided against that and put the chair over here. There's really only one of these doors that's ever going to be used on a regular basis. This one would be fixed, or the less active panel. So I put the chair over here so that we could maintain this door here. And then once I put that over there, maybe you could just go with a sliding door. It's a good alternative. It's a less expensive alternative. Granted, you can't open 6 foot wide, but this is just a bedroom. Your light complement would remain the same. These come with their own little sliding screen, so the screen is addressed as well. This sliding door is probably the way to go. And then once I did that, once I went to the sliding door, I went ahead and widened it back out to 6 foot wide on E. And then finally, just so that I was not remiss, I wanted to see about maybe you don't need that large of a closet, and maybe there's an advantage in not having the closet that large. So this is the, well, first of all, I guess, place for the television. Got to have that. So let's just show the television on the dresser. Next, though, as I said, maybe you don't need the 9 foot wide closet. You can get by with a little less. And I wanted to see how that helps us. So this is the final permutation that I've drawn today, which is F. The bed and nightstands are back at that head of the wall. The closet becomes smaller, closer to 7 foot wide with a 6 foot double sliding door. This provides, your seating is here. Television, granted, you could still have that little stand I showed down here with the television if that was a critical consideration. Otherwise, the television can be on the dresser, unless it's a big mirror dresser or something. But this provides room for what I'm showing. I mean, anything can go here. Another seat could go here, or a dresser or whatever. But I'm showing a little desk and chair there in case a person had a computer, or they had a little gaming system in here, something like that. So maybe F is a nice alternative. There's not as much closet space, so it gets a little tighter for a double occupancy, but that's the final permutation on that. So really, after all of this, you really are left with 3 main alternatives that I've drawn. And this is just quickly F if you want to double opening doors there to give you better access. And I've added the dimensions through here. So what you're left with for viable alternatives, according to what I've put together, is really D, E, and F, and variations on those. Because really, A certainly didn't make sense. B was good, but we may as well have this extra 8 inches of space down through here. So C was okay, but again, we may as well have that extra 8 inches of space. So there you go. D, E, F, and variations on those themes. I'll put all of these photos in a zip file, get them over to you, maybe even get them into a printable PDF as well.